Why is balanced better? Well, an instrument lead can get your signal to your amplifier, but it also acts in some respects as an aerial, and it picks up all kinds of atmospheric proprieties. If you look at it in a diagram form, what you've got between your instrument and your amp are two wires which have a very high impedance. When your signal travels down it from the guitar to the amplifier, when everything's fine, you get the noise you want, but if there's any electromagnetic interference around, then you really start to hear it as it gets amplified through your amplifier. The atmosphere is full of noise, and it can pick up on the leads really easily. So how do we make the circuit deaf to noise? Well, with your original guitar instrument lead, you just had one hot wire and a screen, and when your notes were transferred down the wire, everything was fine until an interference spark arrived, and it would pick up on top of your signal, and it would get superimposed onto your signal. This could be a spark from a light switch or a dimmer pack or something like this, and it would really ruin your sound, especially if you were recording, because it would imprint itself onto your sound, and it was impossible to get rid of after the event, cause all kinds of horrible noises, and blow your speakers up at worst. The air is really filthy. You've got to make sure that you proof yourself against these things by buying a fat jack, and it'll make your signal stronger, cleaner, and fatter. Let's go and look at the circuit in a little closer detail. Let's go to the guitar end, and if you buy the fat jack, you can remove the socket from your guitar. You just need to be able to use a soldering iron, and if you can solder a little bit, you can take this circuit board, which is made to fit inside the smallest of cavities of an electronic instrument. You've only got to unsolder the two wires going to your jack plug and put the two wires that are left onto the fat jack circuit board. In the kit that you get, there's two parts. There's the fat jack module, and there's also the dark engine, which is the balancing receiver for the system, and this will sit near your amplifier, and here's how it works. Basically, the cable that goes between your instrument and your amplifier usually only has a conductor to carry the signal and a screen to keep the noise out. Well, in the fat jack lead, you have a hot wire and a cold wire. The circuit board in your guitar will generate an opposite but equal signal to the one that you would normally have coming out of your guitar, and this is called an antiphase signal. This identical signal will remain on the cold conductor. Along comes interference of any description, be it from a light switch or a dimmer pack, and the interference will create equal amounts of shock across both conductors in your guitar lead, and you can see from the diagram that the shock pattern is identical. This travels down the wire toward your amplifier, where the dark engine then deals with it, and as you can see here, we've got opposite signals of the phase and antiphase, but we've got an identical shock wave spike appearing in the signal, and this will need to be inverted. What we do is the dark engine inverts the blue signal so that it's identical to the original signal. Now what this does is the shock pattern that you want to get rid of is now a mirror image of itself, and obviously if you add the two values together from these waves as they go through in an additive process, you will see that the two wanted parts of the signal add up to be really strong, and the shock part of the spike of interference will cancel out and leave you with what is your original signal but a little bit more well endowed. As you can see here, the opposite noise shapes being now inverted cancel out, and your signal appears fatter, cleaner, and just the way you intended it at the start. It's a process of reverse injection. It works the opposite way around from a direct injection box, which is usually only used between mixing desks and stage boxes. Well, now what you can do with this is you can use it wherever you need it, and it'll keep your signal clean.